Rasikh is my guest. She's a graduate student at the U of T. She's the official spokesman for the encampment on campus. Hey, Sarah, thanks for taking some time. I know it's busy, but it's good to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, the message you guys are trying to send here.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd love to tell you about it. We have come together to demand that our institution align its investment practices and academic partnerships with international law and human rights values. This is, of course, concerning the ongoing genocide in Palestine. Our ultimate goal is to urge U of T to be a leader in divesting from the oppression of Palestinians. We want our institution to listen to us, to acknowledge the gravity of the situation, and then, of course, to take meaningful steps towards justice. Divestment is not only achievable, but necessary. It has been done before for South African apartheid. It must happen again. We will not leave, like you mentioned, until our demands are met.
All right, the university's saying, that's fine, but this is actually trespassing because it's private property. It's not a public park. How do you respond to that?
I say that while green spaces and campus lawns are touted as public spaces of recreation and community on orientation day and graduation day, they become privatized, militarized zones once university admin deem them so. The university admin is threatened by the student body applying pressure and mobilizing, by the student body coming together and vocalizing what they all agree on collectively. But we do believe that the university still has the room to do the right thing. Like I mentioned, they can still be leaders in divesting from Israeli apartheid. They can still do that. But at the end of the day, this is our campus, and we will take up space if they ignore our calls, which they have been doing for 6+ months now.
What happens if the police are called in to enforce the law?
We will not be leaving. Again, this is not just starting now. For the past 6 months, we have used all of the channels available to us to push for divestment, all of the soft approaches. The university has completely ignored our point of view. This encampment is not meant to make anybody feel unsafe. It is University of Toronto students who are permanently demonstrating to get the university to consider our views seriously. What we are talking about is the impact of genocide, the worst case of famine the world has seen in recent times. Still, the University of Toronto continues to invest in the state of Israel. The fact that innocent children are being killed and we are protesting should not make anybody feel unsafe, not Muslim students, not Jewish students, not Hindu students, not Christian students. From a principled perspective, all students should come and join us and stand together in solidarity with the Palestinians who are suffering on ground, and institutional complicity is necessary in this entire system. Without institutional complicity, what is going on, specifically the genocide, would not be possible. We must come together and protest it in numbers.
U of T might say, Sarah, look, we're not going to decide university policy based on a group of student activists. It doesn't work that way.
Well, to that, we say that they should be principled in precedent. In the past, they have divested from things like I mentioned, South African apartheid. So why not apply that same principle to Palestinians? It makes no sense. They should be following their own precedent, their own divestment principles that they have carried in the past.
You talked about nobody should feel threatened on campus, but we do know some students have said they do feel threatened and they feel uncomfortable. They're worried about their public safety. They just want to go to class. They want to get their grades. They want to graduate. They don't want to get involved in this, and they don't often feel welcome or comfortable. How would you characterize that? Because you said that everybody's welcome.
Yeah, 100%. So we're not obstructing any pathways for folks to go to class. We're in the middle of King's College Circle, now the People's Circle for Palestine, without diminishing the experience of other students. The public outcry of not feeling safe, we do hold, is an attempt to push the university and law enforcement to limit and silence the student body. We have published a code of conduct which prohibits any harassment of anybody, no matter who they are, what their identity is. There is no physical risk to safety. If folks do feel unsafe, it is because they hold, like you mentioned, a different point of view. Every university campus have different points of views. Our encampment does not in any way say that others cannot do their own protests. Universities are spaces for all kinds of views, but if students do still feel unsafe because they hold other views, we urge them to go and seek help, mental health resources, the Health and Wellness Center at the U of T St. George campus. Nobody should feel unsafe. We're not obstructing any pathways to classrooms. But at the end of the day, we do believe that the public outcry of feeling unsafe is just an excuse to take away from this very legitimate movement and protest that is taking place on campus after 6 months of unresponsiveness from this institution.
Sara Rasikh joining us. Hey, Sarah, thanks for taking time today to join us. Give us your take on what's going on here on CTV News.
Thanks so much for inviting me.